What happens next for both Nick Reiner and Luigi Mangione in their respective criminal cases? I have the latest on both right here on Los Angeles Magazine. We are going to start with Nick Reiner, who is now being held without bail for the homicide of both of his parents. Renowned director Rob Reiner and his wife Michele. Now, it was revealed yesterday, which was December 17th, by the Los Angeles Medical Examiner's Office, the cause of death for Rob and Michele. And the cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries. So we can conclude, or I guess surmise, that it was in fact stabbings that did this. So, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to the family. And I want to play a short clip from the press conference yesterday that was given outside of the court by Alan Jackson, who is Nick Reiner's attorney. Alan Jackson has been in the news lately, I guess in the last couple of years for the most part, pertaining to his work on the Karen Reed case. I mean, Alan Jackson has obviously, he's represented a number of other high profile people. Harvey Weinstein, he actually prosecuted Phil Spector when he was a prosecutor in Los Angeles. But again, he is a respected and renowned attorney. And I think a lot of people were a little bit confused as to how Nick Reiner was able to retain him as an attorney if he didn't have any money, because he had reportedly been homeless at times. And it doesn't seem like he would be able to access money or money from his parents if he did this to them. So after speaking to a few different sources, I'm surmising based on that information that the Reiner family, his sisters or actually, no, he does have two sisters, Tracy Reiner and Romy Reiner. So maybe his sisters, possibly his brother, possibly, aunts or uncles, they could be helping with his defense. And again, I say this based on information that I have from sources, but also based on a family statement that kind of said towards the end, I'll show it to you in a minute, said basically, we urge you not to speculate on anything. That kind of tells me they want us to know there's more to this story, which I think will come out later on when we hear more information as Nick finally appears in court. And I think this is going to have to do with his mental state. So Alan Jackson, outside of court yesterday, where Nick was supposed to be arraigned, basically told everybody that there was going to be a continuance of the arraignment on January 7th. He didn't provide much more information than that, but I will tell you what we can gather from that. And this is also based on experts like Mark Garagos, who joined me for a stream yesterday. I've also seen other attorneys like Mark Betterow tweet this same exact thing. So let me pull this up right now so we can play part of it. I mean, it's pretty short, so maybe we'll get through the whole thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just have a couple of quick words. First of all, and most important.
Quiet. Actually, it's not so quiet. It's silent. Okay, there we go.
Importantly, this is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. We ask that during this process, you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date. And that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point.
Okay. So, I mean, that was pretty much it. So I was a little confused. I was like, well, arraignments take 3 minutes. What's going on? But it's sounds like they're going to go for the NGI plea, which is not guilty by reason of insanity. So they are going to be hiring a doctor on their end to evaluate Nick. And then in turn, I'm sure the prosecutors are going to find someone on their end to also evaluate him and then present this information to the judge. So again, I'm assuming they're going to have this evaluation by an expert by the 7th in order to, move forward with the not guilty plea. So, we will obviously be following this story very, very closely, but I want to find for everybody the statement that was made by the Reiner family, because it's a very well-written statement in my opinion, but I'll point out the last, actually here, I'll show you this as well. This is the medical, let me pull this up. This is the screenshots I took from the medical examiner's office yesterday. So sad. And it looks like also their bodies are ready for release, meaning, they can be returned to the families to give them their proper burials. So yes, cause A right here, multiple sharp force injuries. Oh my gosh. Oh, so sad. Okay. And then here we have, okay, the Reiner children, Romy and Jake, break their silence in a statement obtained by TMZ. Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michele Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends. We are grateful for the outpouring of condolences, kindness, and support we have received not only from family and friends, but people from all walks of life. We now ask for respect and privacy, for speculation to be tempered with compassion and humanity, and for our parents to be remembered for the incredible lives they lived and the love they gave. So you saw that where they said for speculation to be tempered with compassion and humanity. In my opinion, that means take it easy on our brother. So there you have it. I also spoke with Mark Garagos, as I mentioned, who said in his experience with Rob Reiner, who was staunchly against the death penalty, and his son could be facing that, Mark said that he knows that Rob would not want that for his son, even though there was this horrific crime that has allegedly been committed. So again, I do feel like the Reiner family will be rallying around Nick to a degree. But again, we'll keep a close eye on this story. And man, my heart just goes out to that family. Okay, let's just switch to Luigi Mangione, where the suppression hearings are finally over. Oh my gosh. We got into court this morning and the state said they had no additional witnesses. The defense had no witnesses. And there were some deadlines thrown out. But the biggest thing here is that the judge said he is not making a decision on what, if anything, will be suppressed until May 18th, which is pretty wild. I mean, after weeks of testimony, we have to wait until May. There were also some other additional deadlines as well. There were some discovery deadlines. I am just finding in my article on lamag.com what I originally, okay. So he set a January 29th deadline for written submissions pertaining to discovery and, compliance issues. And then March 5th for the prosecution's responses. And I think some of these issues are stemming from the fact there's one big statement that Karen Agnifilo said was not addressed that she would like to be addressed. But not apparently, I actually watched it today. In one of the first press conferences in 2024 after the shooting, police had said that Luigi Mangione's mother, Kathleen, said something along the lines of, this sounds like something that he would do pertaining to the Red Room. And Karen Agnifilo was like, not only did she not say that, she actually said the opposite. She said that my son has never seemed like he posed a risk to himself or others. And so she wants the statement to be retracted and to be corrected. And that's never happened. So she was upset that she never got to speak to the lead detective on the case, who was apparently supposed to testify today. But because Detective Leonardi was dismissed from the stand on Tuesday. And that was because it was revealed that Luigi Mangione's statements, or the interrogation in Pennsylvania, was deemed unlawful and thrown out by the DA due to the two-party consent to record, the fact that he had no lawyer present, all of that. It was thrown out. And so the state decided not to call the lead detective, who apparently made the statement about Luigi's mother saying that. So Karen Agnifilo spoke about this, and she does plan to file motions on this. And at the end of court, Luigi kind of gave this like finger point to his lawyers, kind of, saying goodbye. And I'll put my Twitter back up. I'll play part of the presser just to close out that Karen Agnifilo gave at the end of court. And just forgive me because my camera is so bad. I tried. I was in a bad spot.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming and for sitting through a 3-week mini trial that should have been a half a day. Map hearings, hunting hearings to suppress statements, and evidence usually take a half a day, maybe a day. We were told this was going to be several days, but this went on for 3 weeks unnecessarily, and lots of witnesses were called. And in fact, today we were fully expecting case detective, Detective Diaz, to testify. And it was only after Lieutenant Leonardi testified about the illegal wiretap of Mr. Mangione in Altoona, Pennsylvania, that they withdrew statement notice, and now suddenly we're not going to have the lead case detective in this case. It's significant. There was a lot of open questions that we wanted to question him about, especially the very prejudicial statement made by the chief of detectives at the time. There was a press conference a year ago where they were talking about all the probable cause and the reason.
Sorry, my camera's so bad.
That Mr. Mangione committed this crime. And one of those things was that they relied on a statement made by his mother that she said she could see him doing something like this. That's an absolutely false statement. That was never said. And in fact, we asked for discovery regarding that. The prosecution told us they gave us all the discovery. We even subpoenaed materials from San Francisco Police Department. There is no such statement. It was never made. In fact, it was the opposite. What Mrs. Mangione—
Just really quick, if you recall, Luigi's mother actually filed a missing persons report in San Francisco in December of 2024, or maybe it was November, but either way, that is why Agnifilo referred to the San Francisco police.
He said was that she could never see her son being a risk to himself or others. And we put that on the record again today, and that still has not been corrected by either the NYPD or the Manhattan DA's office. That's a prejudicial statement that has been repeated many, many times. And yes, I'm repeating it here, but because you all have published this over and over and over again, because this was an essential piece of information that Detective Kenny said was relied upon by the NYPD in this case. So we want the NYPD or the San Francisco PD or the Manhattan DA to correct this very prejudicial statement that was never said.
I mean, it is funny because I don't remember that being said. I understand the concern, of course. I don't remember that being said. Hopefully, potential jurors don't remember that being said. But anyway, I hope this podcast was informative, and I will be back on Monday with more pop culture, scandals, and crime news. I'm Lauren Conlin from Los Angeles Magazine. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out.